Welcome back to another edition of Let's Talk with yours truly, Stero and Big Chief. I'd like to say thank you to all the subscribers, loyal fans, and
Mm,
supporters. Continue sharing, liking, and subscribing to the content. We appreciate love you guys to the max, and you guys are the real heroes. You know what I mean? So
yes.
today we're gonna get into Kanye West's latest rant as far as this guy, man. I don't know what to say, bro.
Well, we I don't know, man. He's alleged incestuous relationship with his male cousin.
Bruh, that's like, of all the things you could want to reveal to the public and your fans, that would be something. In the event that that was me, I'd take that to my grave, bro.
Listen, that's a go to the grave
That's just
moment.
not something that I'd be willing to divulge and share with
Yes.
anyone, let alone the general public, not even my
Hmm.
closest people, you know?
Yes. You
But
you
everybody does things differently. So I get it. Maybe in him coming forth with these, revelations, he
hmm
feels that there's some type of healing
hmm
or, you know, able to move forward, you know?
Yeah. And it's to be honest with you, I think it's a cry.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It's a cry for help. He want to clear the air. He probably has a lot of things bottled up over the years, such as this,
I'm
and
sure.
he's just trying to clear the air and to let it loose. And I'm quite sure when he speak to his therapist, his therapist probably tell him, "Hey, just let it loose. Just air it out there."
You think he has a therapist?
More, probably, I think most Americans probably need therapists or need a therapy right now.
I mean, because as much as he be ranting and going off
Hmm.
the deep end, you would think that if you had a therapist, that those types of occurrences wouldn't be as frequent as we're seeing them take place with him.
Well, it's only so much that a therapist could do. It's alleged that he was hospitalized. I don't know. I don't want to say mental illness, allegedly, right? Bipolar, allegedly. And we all know with that type of diagnosis, people act out. They have mood swings, and the list goes on and on. And if they don't take their medication, uh, it just swings left, right, up, down, center, middle. It's very hard dealing with individuals like that because you never know what you're going to get from them.
Right.
Yeah. So this is coming from his new single, and it's called Cousin.
That's
All right,
those cousins, plural.
cousins. Oh yeah,
Yes.
cousins.
Yes.
Yes, more than
Where
one.
where he goes as far as to detail explicitly, acts of a sexual nature that he performed on his male cousin, who is subsequently uh, doing a bid for killing a pregnant woman.
Yeah, well, I think when she rejected him or something like that, that
I'm
effect.
I'm not sure what the
Alleged.
backstory is, but
Yeah.
I know he's doing a bid for that.
So
And
Kanye it was exploring the traumatic experience of between him and his cousin per se, and he quote hanging with my cousin reading dirty magazine. He raps on the track in the opening line. We seen some niggas kissing, and we ain't know what does that mean. And we started reenacting everything that we seen.
have you heard the track?
Yeah, I heard the track and I'm like, oh,
I haven't heard it. I just heard snippets.
oh.
But
You know, snippet?
personally, that's not something I would want to have in my psyche. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That kind of energy and frequency. Nah,
Hmm.
I'm good. You
Yeah.
know.
And the verse went on, and Kanye, was talking about the relationship with him and his family, um, involving other members of his family, and he ended up repeating in the line, "I gave my cousin, you know what?
Wow.
I gave my cousin,
Yeah. I mean, and subsequently, since he's made these revelations, he's
hmm
been getting a number of death threats.
By whom?
Um, it didn't say. It just said that death threats were, quite apparent and have been, you know, reported. And you know, they're not going to actually say who is
Yeah,
making the threats
who's making the
because I'm
death
sure
threat?
I'm sure they're coming anonymously.
Yeah,
It's not going to be like, oh, this is XYZ from Mulberry Street, and yeah, nah, you know what I mean. So
yeah. Well, a lot of people, from what I've heard, they were saying that he should have taken, like you mentioned, that he should have taken. These are things that you take to the grave. He should not have exposed his cousin. I know he's trying to, from what they're saying, trying to get it, clear the air and get it off his head. But what about his cousin? Other people are saying, well, his cousin's in jail anyway. He ain't coming out of jail, and he's in prison where a lot of that stuff go on in prison. So you know,
I mean, at the end of the day, people do things for selfish reasons, and I
yes,
doubt Kanye was thinking about anybody or anything but himself
yes,
at the moment in time when he chose
hmm
to release that information to the public.
yes,
I
hmm
mean, he has kids. I mean, what about the repercussions for his children based
yeah,
on his, statements and music that's to do with this?
yeah.
I
And
mean, we all know kids can be cruel. His kid
very,
gotta go
very
to
true,
school. You know what I'm
very
saying?
true. Yes.
I mean, it's like, wow, really? You want to subject your children to that, bro?
hmm
Like, I don't know, man.
Because we all know that Kanye West, um, he's a public figure, right? He has style, right? Um, he has a clothing line, a very popular
I'll
clothing
say
line.
this: he
He's a
had
trendsetter.
he had style.
Yes,
What he be wearing nowadays, I mean, that's his thing. But
yes.
compared to what he used to wear back in
He
the
used
day,
to
he
wear.
was,
Yes,
so
yes,
the style has gone somewhat left.
yes.
It took a U-turn. You know what I mean?
And then we all know when it comes to the rap industry, right? They're very homophobic, right? When it comes to rap industry, and um, a lot of people don't like any gay rappers when it comes to the rap industry. They like their rappers hardcore, straight up to the street,
Alpha male.
alpha male, take charge, and then now we all know that Kanye West, he's a take charge person, right? Um, he know what he wants when it comes to business and producing music and so forth, right? And then now with this issue of him bringing up what transpired between him and his cousin, you know, individuals are saying, well, from what I've heard and I've seen on social media and all that stuff, that they look differently on him right now. They see him as a F boy, right?
I mean, he says he's not attracted to men.
That's what he says,
Yes.
right? That's what he says.
Yes, sir.
He said that I don't think they understand. I'm not attracted to men. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. But will he lose any fans? He probably lose a lot of fans,
He's
and he
probably
probably
he's probably lost fans. Forget
lost
losing
fans.
them. They gone already. You know. I
Yeah.
mean, people are so fickle. One scandal, one misquote,
hmm
one mishap, and it's a wrap. You know.
There's a saying. There's a saying in Jamaica. Cousin and cousin. What is that? Boil good soup, make good soup.
Okay.
Oh man. But this
And,
right here is like when I first saw it, I was like, no, no, what did I just hear?
and you know what's
What?
also interesting? He's also been tweeting
Mm-hmm.
several excerpts from the Torah. Interesting, isn't it? Based on the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he was going, what was it? DEFCON 4, 3,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
DEFCON 4.
Yeah, against the whole Jewish faith,
The
anything
Jewish
to do
cabal,
with it. Yeah,
allegedly.
yeah. So for him to be quoting the Torah now
Yeah.
and, posting that on his Twitter and stuff, I find it very interesting. I mean, this guy is, you know, it's almost like the people who are the smartest have to have a little bit of crazy in them
Yes.
to be
That's
able to be that
their
smart,
creativity.
you know?
The craziness brings out their creativity.
Because not taking anything away from him as a
Yes.
producer.
Hmm.
He's got the hits, he's got the catalog under his belt.
Yes.
I mean, this is one of them things where we have to separate the person from the art
Hmm.
because he's been all over the place over the last couple of years from his what was it a couple of weeks ago, him in the KKK style black
Oh, he had a
garb.
black cl-
Yeah, man.
and he had an interview with the whole full hood,
Yeah, man.
and I'm like,
He's
Kanye,
made
man.
he's made disparaging comments against other rappers.
Yes.
He went as far as to say, spoke negatively about the mother of his child and who he should have had children with as opposed to her. I'm like, dude, you're bugging, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think he mentioned like was it Paris Hilton?
Yeah,
Paris Hilton. Yes.
because I
No,
guess he said he should have had kids with her, but he had kids with the help. I mean, that
and that's
that is,
because she used to be Paris Hilton assistant, personal
yep.
assistant.
I
Actually, they
mean,
said that she was a good assistant because she was personal assistant to quite a bit of um,
A-list
Hollywood
celebrities.
A-listers, and they said she did an excellent job.
But that is a most reductive statement to
Yeah.
speak on the mother of your children, bro.
Yes.
Like, sometimes I think to myself, dude, do you engage your brain before you allow the words to come out your mouth?
Yeah.
God,
Engage his brain before he engages his mouth.
bruh, it's like it's the apotheosis of reckless,
Yeah.
you know?
Now, individuals they're saying, well, it appears that he's a genius when it comes to marketing his music, and he just throw this out there to help stir the marketing, right? Um, to build up
And garner interest,
listenership,
because
huh?
of course, people are gonna want to hear the track now. I
Yeah,
don't want to hear it, but
yeah,
that's just me. But I'm sure
mm-hmm,
there are a number of people just for the shock value. Oh my god, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Eyes like deer in headlights when they hear the line or the
yeah,
song, you know.
yeah, mm-hmm.
So I'm sure, I'll give it to him. He knows how to stay relevant,
A lot of shock values, right?
most definitely.
He's trust me, man. He's like he's like the WWE of rap. You know,
I mean, because if he's not parading his wife naked at award shows,
mm-hmm,
you know what I mean, or doing some other nonsensicalness, it's like what's
walking
next? What's next?
walking barefoot all over the place, and is wearing the outfit, and I don't know, man. I think
Cost of
that
being a genius.
when his mother was alive, we didn't see any of this, and is it possible that maybe she was ensuring that he get the help that he needed, and she kept him level-headed per
Who
se.
knows? Who knows?
Yeah, but
You
no, but
know?
we didn't see that in the public.
Yeah.
We didn't see that in the public unless his record label was covering this up like exceptionally well, which I doubt because we know that paparazzi followed him, right? And I'm
Yep.
quite sure the paparazzis would have leaked a lot of information.
I mean, they're still following him.
Yes,
You know?
yes,
I mean, the fact that he's made disparaging comments about
mm-hmm,
so many people. I mean,
yes.
his former label mates, John Legend, Pusha T, even went as far as to denigrate Lil Boosie.
Oh,
I
matter of
mean,
fact, he's having a problem with Blue Boosie. What do you say that Boosie?
smell broke.
Yeah, he's
How does one smell broke?
and he also have to remember where he came from. He didn't come from a wealthy family. His mother was a professor at the university. So he was in the middle class neighborhood. He didn't grow up from a wealthy class per se. And for him to say that about Boosie, come on, man, he's forgetting where he comes from. He's from South Side of Chicago. The South Side of Chicago is now Hollywood. It's not the Hamptons or Scarsdale, New York.
I mean, you know, I think personally, he needs to just recuse himself
Mm-hmm.
from the spotlight for a moment. Take some time, get into yourself, realign,
Mm-hmm.
and just put some good music out.
Yes,
That's what the
because
fans really want. You know what I
he
mean?
has the potential to put out a lot of music, and just start cranking out the albums. Just crank out the albums, and leave the controversy behind and just focus on the music. That's what his fans want. They want the music from the genius, right? And that's what I want because I love his music.
I mean, the old stuff I like. The newer stuff,
Mm-hmm.
not so much. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it seems to have taken a turn.
Yeah.
And I get it. You know, artists grow and they change, and you know, creatively and artistically, they want to
Yes.
express themselves
Mm-hmm.
in a fashion that they see suitable. But that
Yeah.
don't mean I have to like it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm a consumer of the music. I'm a fan, so
Yes.
at the end of the day, I have a say.
Mm-hmm.
As an individual that's in your listening audience.
Yes.
I mean, not that you care what I think, but at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, it still remains I'm in that audience. As
Yes.
are you and everybody else. And we
Mm-hmm.
have opinions, and some are gonna like it, and some are
And
not.
some of that.
He has his hierophants and his supporters and individuals who will, you know, he could sneeze on a record, and people will be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh my god," you know what I mean? I mean, there's people out there like that, man,
Yeah, that's
extremists,
true. That's true.
So
I don't know, man. I when it comes to Kanye, I toss up my hand down. Like I expect anything from him. I expect him to say and do anything.
I mean, to be fair, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? There's so much other pertinent stuff taking place in the world today that we should be focused on,
Yes.
yet we're here paying attention to his shenanigans.
Yes.
So he,
The war is happening in Ukraine, right?
you know,
Um, we have tariff war happening between China and the United States and Canada and Mexico and so forth. You know, Wall Street, the stock market is down. They're increasing prices in Amazon, Temu, in addition to Sheen, and the list goes on and on. Interest rate is very high. Cost for goods is high. So there's a lot of things happening. But yet still we here talking about Kanye West and his controversy because controversy sells, unfortunately, right?
and he knows definitely how to stay in the mix of the
Yes.
controversy. He does
Yeah.
that very well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every couple of weeks we'll hear something, you know,
Yes.
so that he's staying relevant and on the lips of the public, so to
Yeah.
speak, you know,
So to
in
speak. Yeah.
terms of conversation.
Yeah. So,
So
for anything else come up about Mr. Kanye, or we say Mr. West, we'll update you guys, and we'll speak on it more in depth. All right. So from Chief and Stero, let's talk. Signing out. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And just tell a friend.
that's a fact. As a matter of fact, tell a friend to tell 10. Because we're just going to keep on bringing you the good content. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to expand. And, we're your network news
Yes.
in a sense to keep you abreast of all these things that are going on. So
Yes.
stay tuned for future podcasts. And
Mm-hmm.
until next time, Big Stero,
Peace.
peace.